Welcome back to the show. We are absolutely thrilled to have you here with us today because we are diving into a matchup that is honestly still sending shockwaves through the league.
Yeah, it really is. It's a game people are going to be studying for a long time.
Exactly. And we have a massive stack of sources in front of us today to help us unpack it. We've got the official Manaball rulebook, which
Reads like a quantum physics manual half the time.
it really does. We also have the comprehensive team and player dossier for the entire league, and most importantly, the official game logs and the narrative recap for Game 13 of the Manheim Academy Manaball season.
Right, the real meat of the dive.
Yeah, so our mission for today's deep dive is to drop you straight into that high-octane, four-dimensional aerial arena for just a legendary clash. We are going to break down the tactics, the wild momentum swings, and the specific player performances that decided the game.
It's the perfect case study, really, in how contrasting strategies collide in the flight band.
Let's set the scene for you really quickly. We are at the Manheim Dome. It's this 210 by 95-foot transparent magical arena.
Right, with the three distinct vertical layers.
Yes. And tonight's clash gives us the home team, the Azure Bears, going up against the away team, the Crimson Tigers.
Yeah, bears are fiercely disciplined, methodical, the absolute kings of positional control on the neutral plane.
While the Tigers are, well, they are the league's most explosive, chaotic, three-dimensional offensive powerhouse.
And what we are going to tease out today is exactly how a massive shock decision at the guardian position, combined with just the masterclass in positional defense, managed to completely neutralize an offense that most analysts thought was practically unstoppable.
So let's unpack this clash of philosophies first, because the geometric mismatch here is wild.
It really is.
The Crimson Tigers do not just play the game. They try to overwhelm the entire airspace. They run a highly dynamic 3-2-1 attack system.
3 centers, 2 strikers, 1 defender.
Right. And their signature play is the Crimson Collapse, where they use all 3 layers of the flight band to just push the tempo.
And if you look at the geometry of that Crimson Collapse, you understand why it's pure sensory overload for an opposing defense.
Oh, absolutely.
When you run a 3-2-1, you're essentially trying to turn the arena into a vertical cylinder. You want your 3 centers pushing the offensive zone simultaneously in the neutral plane, while your 2 strikers dive bomb from the upper layer.
It forces the defense to look up, down, and straight ahead all at the exact same time.
Exactly. But the Azure Bears look at that chaos and just say,
No, thank you.
right, no thank you. They run a strict, balanced 2-2-2 system.
2 strikers, 2 centers, 2 defenders. They do not want a vertical track meet.
They prioritize that semi-solid neutral plane. They act like a horizontal barricade.
They use methodical grinding cycling plays, like their signature bear spiral. That's where they rotate possession along the dome barriers, wear the defense down, and then sneak a defender into the slot for a surprise shot.
To understand how these systems actually clash on the field, we have to look at the 2 defensive anchors that really define them.
Okay, let's do it.
For the Bears, everything runs through Freya Kroon. She's a junior center. Her magic style is listed as Zoolergy, but her real magic on the field is pure two-way control.
She's only ranked as a B-tier player, right?
But she doesn't rely on slashy aerial attacks. She dictates the rhythm.
Wait, break that down for me, because when you see Zoology on a dossier, you usually expect someone, I don't know, summoning spirit animals or something highly visual.
Sure.
How is she applying that to a methodical 2-2-2 system?
It's brilliantly subtle. Kroon isn't summoning anything. She is using Zoology to tap into animalistic sensory networks and kinetic chaining.
Oh, wow.
She processes spatial mapping the way a flock of birds moves in perfect synchronization. She can literally feel the pressure shifts in the air currents of the dome.
So she knows exactly where a Crimson Tiger player is going to die from without even looking up.
Spot on. She is the metronome for the Azure Bears. She forces the opponent to play at her speed.
Okay, contrast that with the Tigers' defensive anchor, Chad Griffith. He is a senior defender, utilizes morphomancy, and his official role is literally enforcer.
Yeah, the Tigers structurally don't play positional defense.
They rely almost entirely on Griffith's aggressive back-checking and punishing physical hits to protect the slot while their 3 centers swarm the orb.
And morphomancy in his hands is terrifying.
Terrifying is the right word. When Griffith hits you, he's not just hitting you with his base weight.
Right. He's using morphomancy to micro-shift his bone density and muscle mass right at the point of impact.
He can shift his center of gravity mid-flight, so a standard shoulder check suddenly feels like being hit by a falling anvil.
Which brings us to the pregame shocker.
Oh man, I want you to imagine the atmosphere for a second. The Manheim Dome is absolutely buzzing. Students are packing the upper galleries, house banners are drifting on the air currents, the Crimson Tigers are riding high.
Everyone favored them to just blast through the Azure defenses.
Exactly. You check the starting lineups, expecting to see veteran Ryan Ward in net for the Bears. But instead, they hand the net to a junior named Manamina.
A B-tier player.
Her magic style is cryomancy, and her official role, secret weapon.
It was a massive gamble. I mean, the guardian position in Manaball is arguably the most demanding in sports. And you were putting a B-tier junior up against the Tigers' starting guardian, Devin Grazzo.
Grazzo is an A-tier senior, uses demonology, known across the league as a clutch performer.
And his demonology isn't subtle at all. He manifests these shadowy kinetic barriers. He uses fear auras to intimidate strikers when they get into the slot.
Meanwhile, you have Manamina, who has to face the relentless three-dimensional aerial bombardment of the Tigers' elite strikers, players like Autumn Fallon and Ty Clyde.
The central question heading into Game 13 was whether Minna's unproven composure could possibly handle that sheer volume of chaos.
And the answer reveals itself almost immediately. Let's get right into the action.
Period 1.
The head arbiter blows the opening whistle. Face off at center dome in the neutral plane. The orb drops. Immediately, you see the Tiger centers trying to push the pace. They are trying to lift the orb into the upper layer to start their dive attacks.
But the Bears are having none of it.
None of it. They intentionally slow their possessions. They dump the orb. They cycle it along the barriers. They are forcing these long, grinding defensive sequences.
Notice how the Bears are making the Tigers pay what we call the altitude tax.
The altitude tax, I love that.
The Tigers thrive on quick transitions. They want to get high and dive fast. The Bears are deliberately dragging them into a trench war in the neutral plane. Every time a Tiger goes up to the upper layer, the Bears just hold the orb down low.
Forcing the Tiger to burn aerobic energy hovering up there for nothing.
Exactly.
And it pays off. First blood goes to the home team. Midway through the first period, the Tigers get frustrated. They try a thread pass through the middle. Freya Kroon reads the air currents perfectly.
She intercepts the pass right in the neutral plane.
She doesn't hesitate. She instantly feeds the orb forward to striker Chris Aaron. Aaron takes it, finds his angle, and fires a sharp drive shot past Grazzo's shadow barriers.
1-0 Azure Bears.
The dome goes wild, a clinical counterstrike.
But the Tigers do not panic. They are way too explosive for that.
The response is immediate. The Tigers dial up the pressure in the offensive zone. It's a chaotic scramble, players hovering just above the goal ring. Center Sydney Distancic slips a brilliant little pass through traffic towards striker Autumn Fallon.
Fallon catches it on her stick.
Redirects the mana orb cleanly past Minna before she can even set her edges. Tie game, 1-1.
Even with that equalizer, the underlying stats for the first period show the Bears quietly winning the tactical war.
Because Chad Griffith is out there throwing his weight around, right? Let me check the logs. Yeah, he finishes this game with 4 hits and 3 blocks.
In Manaball, logging 4 legal hits usually means you are threading a microscopic needle with the referees. But Griffith is physically punishing the Bears.
But Freya Kroon is absorbing that punishment and answering it with pure playmaking. She finishes the game with 2 assists, 2 blocks, 3 shots, and 2 hits of her own.
She is the one keeping the Tigers trapped in the Bears' preferred slow rhythm.
Which sets the stage perfectly for period 2.
We shift from that opening feeling out process into a true, gritty defensive duel.
Both teams tighten up their formations. The neutral plane becomes incredibly crowded. There's almost no room to fly, let alone set up a clean shot.
But the Bears find a crack. It's a quick passing sequence.
The Bear spiral in full effect, orchestrated by Kroon. She finds striker dial Elfkyle. Elfkyle winds up and launches a powerful snapshot from distance in the neutral plane, and it slips right past Grazzo, 2-1 Bears.
Now the Tigers realize they are in real trouble. They are trailing, the game is halfway over, and they are playing Azure Bear Manaball, so they press. Hard.
They start utilizing that 3-2-1 formation to its absolute limit, generating fast breaks through Ty Clyde and Liz Hadbucks. Autumn Fallon is unleashing an absolute barrage. She finishes the game with a team-high 6 shots. They are throwing everything at the Azure net.
And here is where the legend of Manamina is born. The secret weapon becomes an absolute brick wall.
The Tigers are swarming the Guardian Circle, diving from the upper layer, snapping shots from the neutral plane, and she is just so incredibly composed.
We have to look at the application of her cryomancy here, because it is brilliant. She isn't just relying on physical reflexes to block these 100-mile-per-hour shots.
She is using microbursts of frost to flash freeze the moisture in the air right in front of her stick.
Yes, she is killing the orb's kinetic energy and changing its aerodynamics milliseconds before it hits her.
Effectively deadening the rebound so the swarming Tigers can't get second chance points.
The statistics from this stretch are just staggering. Devin Grazzo performed admirably on the other end. He faced the methodical, high-percentage shots of the Azure cycle and stopped 23 of 26 shots.
That's an 8.885 save percentage. Very solid.
But Mina, she faced 28 shots from the most dangerous offense in the league, and she stopped 26 of them.
A .929 save percentage.
To put up a .929 against the Crimson Collapse is nearly unheard of. It wasn't just the volume of saves, it was the quality of the chances she was denying when the Tigers were desperate.
But the Tigers are the Tigers for a reason. Late in period 2, the pressure finally cracks the dam, scramble near the goal ring, the orb is loose, drifting just above the neutral plane.
Liz Hadbuck spots it.
Accelerates, collects the orb, and fires a quick shot into net before Minna can recover. Tie game again, 2-2.
Which brings us to period 3. And this is where the game logs get really fascinating. You see a massive drop in offensive output from both sides. This period becomes a masterclass in attrition.
The logs show Fallon and Clyde still trying to execute those upper layer dive bombs, but their velocity drops significantly. What is happening to these players physically by the time the third period rolls around?
It's the aerobic cost of the neutral plane trench warfare we talked about earlier. The 3-2-1 offense requires constant vertical movement. Ascending against the artificial gravity of the dome takes a massive toll on the legs and the mana reserves.
And the Bears, playing their flat 2-2-2 system, have been making the Tigers pay that altitude tax all game.
By period 3, the Tigers are exhausted. Their dive bombs lack that lethal snap.
But the Bears are exhausted too. They've been dealing with Chad Griffith, altering his bone density and slamming into them for 45 minutes.
Right. You read the recap, and it's just Grazzo making a clutch demon hand save on one end and Minna throwing up a frost shield on the other.
No one can break the deadlock. The tension in that dome is palpable. The clock hits 0 on period 3, and we are heading into sudden death overtime.
You know the stakes. 5 minutes on the clock. First goal wins.
And because of the immense pressure, discipline becomes absolutely everything. The crowd is deafening. You know that a single dangerous aerial collision penalty or one lazy drifting violation, and you hand the game away.
This is where the Azure Bears' foundational philosophy of structure wins games, pays its ultimate dividend.
The Tigers are naturally aggressive, which makes them prone to overcommitting in overtime. They want to force the issue.
The Bears, however, are perfectly comfortable being patient. They don't mind cycling the orb 5, 6, 7 times until the perfect lane opens.
Let's call the final play, the climax of the match. Overtime is winding down. The Bears' top line is on the field. They initiate a slow, patient sequence along the glass. No rushing. The Bears spiral in motion.
Rhea Kroon gains possession.
She guides the orb methodically through the neutral plane, using that Zoology spatial awareness to let the play develop around her. She spots a sliver of space. She slips a short, incredibly precise pass to Chris Aaron.
Aaron doesn't hold it.
He instantly redirects it across the offensive zone. It's a beautiful geometric setup. Rachel Aubergine is waiting wide open at the far side. She winds up. She strikes the orb cleanly. It sails right past Devin Grazzo's outstretched shadow limb. It's in.
The Azure Bears win 3-2 in overtime.
The home crowd absolutely erupts.
It is a stunning finish. When we synthesize everything that happened in those 3 periods in overtime, we see something profound.
Yeah, this wasn't just a sports upset. It was a triumph of structure over raw firepower.
The Azure Bears did not try to match the Tigers' speed. If they had, they would have been blown out of the sky.
Yeah.
Instead, they forced the Tigers to play their game.
They grounded the flight paths, they congested the neutral plane, and they relied on their foundational discipline.
Exactly.
So why does a game of Manaball between the Bears and the Tigers matter for you? Because there's a massive real-world application here. In a world full of fast-paced, chaotic environments that look a whole lot like the Tigers' aggressive, swarming 3-2-1 offense, it is so easy to feel like you have to speed up to compete.
You feel like you have to match the chaos. to dive bomb from the upper layer just to keep pace.
But there is immense power in the Azure Bears approach. There is power in slowing down the tempo, in maintaining your positional discipline, and relying on composed, quiet execution. You don't always need to be the loudest or the fastest in the room.
Sometimes, being Freya Kroon, quietly dictating the rhythm with perfectly timed passes and elite two-way play.
Or being Manamina delivering a .929 save percentage through pure composure under fire.
Is exactly how you dismantle overwhelming odds.
In a tiger's world, be a bear. I love that. Thank you so much for joining us in the Dome today for this incredible game analysis. We hope you enjoyed the flight as much as we did.
Before we sign off, this game raises an important question, something we want to leave you to ponder.
Oh, definitely.
If a B-tier secret weapon guardian, playing within a rigid, two-dimensional defensive structure, can completely neutralize a team utilizing three-dimensional aerial dominance and A-tier star power, does this expose a fundamental flaw in aggressive Manaball strategy?
Or did the Crimson Tigers simply forget that gravity always pulls the orb back down to the neutral plane?